Good morning, ladies and gentlemen from Vietnam and ladies and gentlemen from India. Welcome to the India-ASEAN Pharma Business Meet, which is scheduled from 15th until 22nd of March. We are joined by 100 plus delegates from overseas and 45 delegates from Vietnam today for this India-Vietnam pharma business development and regulatory developments. So we welcome you all to India-Vietnam Pharmaceutical Cooperation on regulatory developments. We have with us uh, His Excellency Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, Consul General of India to Ho Chi Minh City. Sir, welcome you, sir. We have with us Ms. Pham Thi Van Ha, Deputy Head of Drug Administration of Vietnam. Welcome, madam. We have with us Mr. Manoj Bharatwal, Chairman, Indian Chamber in Vietnam. Welcome, sir. We have with us Mr. Nguyen Thi Hang, Deputy General from Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Now, with this short brief, may I request Mr. Ravi Uday Bhaskar, Director General Pharmexil, to kindly give his address on Indian pharmaceutical industry meeting global needs. Sir, I welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, His Excellency Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, Consul General of India to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and Ma'am Pham Thi Van Han, the Deputy Head of Drug Registration, Drug Administration of Vietnam, and other distinguished speakers, and ladies and gentlemen. Really, it gives me immense pleasure to talk about Indian pharmaceutical industry meeting global needs. My talk is going to be for 5 to 6 minutes to enlighten the members who are present here to understand the Indian pharmaceutical industry and its capabilities. So everyone is aware of that. Pharmaceuticals Export Promotion Council of India is formed under Foreign Trade Policy in the year 2004 with an objective to facilitate the exports of Indian pharmaceuticals. India pharmaceutical industry is popularly known as pharmacy of the world. We're exporting drugs to more than 200 countries, and it is third largest in terms of export of generic formulations and 10th in terms of the volume. You're also happy to know that 9 out of 25 global generic companies are from India. At the same time, 70% of WHO vaccine requirements are sourced from India. And we have highest number of USFDA approved sites outside US. So 55% of our exports are going to highly regulated markets, and the major share is to North America, Africa, and Europe. Our fifth largest exporting destination is ASEAN. Last financial year, 1920, we exported 20.6 billion US dollars worth of drugs to different the countries with more than 7% positive growth. And during the pandemic, particularly in this financial year, from April 20 to till date, by January, within 10 months, we exported 19.580 million US dollars worth of drugs with 12% growth. So we are going to touch 25 billion in this financial year. So everybody expected, and the entire global economy is not doing well, and manufacturing sector is not doing well. But at these difficult times, India continued its legacy and giving answers to so many issues with concern to healthcare by exporting its drugs to different parts of the world. And particularly, India export in the initial days of COVID-19, India exported the drugs which are used in for COVID treatment to 150 countries. So, your just I have mentioned about 55% of our exports to highly regulated markets. If you see our top 10 exporting destinations, so most of the countries like you are highly regulated at the same time economically developed at the same time they are highest indicators in the healthcare sector. So, this particular event we are organizing to sensitize our friends in the ASEAN. Particularly, today's program is focusing more on Vietnam. So, the INCHAM and VACC and our Indian mission, we are closely working with Vietnam, particularly the DAV, and we are closely associated not only in the trade, we are closely associated from people to people, from the India's first Prime Minister to the President Ho Chi Minh. So we are continuing that legacy, and I think these difficult times, the collaboration and cooperation between both the countries are very much needed. So our exports to Vietnam, particularly from the last financial year, it's not that very encouraging, but it's only 223.76 million US dollars. But in these 10 months, we have already exported almost 207 million US dollars with 13% positive growth. It certainly indicates that the business relations and between Vietnam and India, particularly in the pharma sector, is doing very well. So Indian pharmaceutical industry is doing very well in vaccine side also. So India is known for producing generic drugs at a very affordable price, and we have a legacy of saving hundreds of millions of the population during the pandemics of HIV and tuberculosis and malaria at 25 years back. So now India producing vaccines, particularly you're all aware of that, and it's a proud moment not only for India, and it's a proud moment for the entire world also. So India is among the top vaccine producing countries, and we have already exporting vaccines to COVID-19 to more than 75 countries, and we developed one of the indigenous vaccine, particularly Bharat in collaboration with ICMR. So we developed a vaccine, and people can realize that India is not only capable of producing generic drugs, we are also capable of producing the new vaccines. So to meet the global need, and five six companies are also working on the vaccine front, and they're at the different stages of trials. So entire world is looking at India to make vaccines available to the world with a very affordable price. And very recently, the Bharat Biotech also submitted the proposals for the nasal vaccine. It's globally only four companies are working on that, and the Bharat Biotech has already submitted their proposals. And one of the largest vaccine manufacturers, like Serum Institute of India, in collaboration with AstraZeneca and Oxford, they are also producing vaccines and exporting to different countries. So with this, I'm very much happy at this point of time. These meetings are very much needed and need of the hour. So I'm also very happy, and I'm also thankful to His Excellency for inviting the Deputy Head of Drug Registration, Ma'am Vanti Van Ham, to deliver a talk on drug registration and policy updates. This is very much important, and it's very relevant to this talk. My proposal to DAV through His Excellency is that there's some sort of a minor misunderstandings and some issues and issues of concern between the DAV and the Indian exporters, and sometimes this to resolve all these issues. I'm not telling that somebody is wrong. To resolve these issues, I propose we need to have a nodal officers representing DAV and CDSCO and PharmExcel for exchange of regular and quick information on matters regarding quality and registrations. I'm also extending on behalf of PharmExcel and the Minister of Commerce under International Audit Exchange Program to invite the senior officers of DAV to visit the Indian pharmaceutical industry for the better understanding, and also they can interact with the National Drug Authority, CDSCO, on how the Indian regulatory mechanism is working. So with this, I once again express my profound gratitude to His Excellency for coordinating this, and I'm also thankful to VCCI and INCHAM and others. So with this, I'll conclude my talk. I think in the coming a few hours, it's going to be a value addition to the business delegates of both the countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the brief on how Indian pharmaceutical industry is meeting global needs and our performance on vaccines and how we can take this forward through collaborative approach. With this, I now invite His Excellency Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, Consulate General of India to Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, to kindly offer his introductory remarks on India-Vietnam cooperation in pharmaceuticals. Sir, I invite you to kindly give your introductory remarks.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues, and it is quite interesting to have this pharmaceutical meeting today itself. And this is the fourth meeting, if I'm not wrong, we are doing in the pharmaceutical sector in the last 6 to 7 months. And I myself have interacted with provincial leaders, with pharma companies based in Vietnam. So quite people here also are aware about the cost effectiveness of Indian medicines. And as Mr. Bhaskar sir told clearly, there are some misunderstandings, but I am sure that can be solved through discussion. And his invitation to Drug Administration Authority to visit India is definitely praiseworthy. My office will definitely in touch with the Vietnam government to plan for their visit to India also. As mentioned in his initial talk, that India has become the pharmacy house of the world. Not only it is catering to its own domestic needs, but to the world needs. And this COVID crisis is a kind of signifies the capacity and capability of Indian pharma industry to provide drugs at very, very cheap rate to the whole world actually. So it is very significant that, as DG Pharmacy told, that more than 70 million vaccines have been provided to more than 70 countries of the world actually. Still, we are not stopping. So today's event, I must extend my gratitude to VCCI and to Drugs Administration Department for acknowledging their presence in this important meeting and to speak to our drug producers about the process of registration. So I'm sure the post launch session, it will be B2B meeting, and I'm quite happy that VCSI has arranged some meeting with 20 to 25 Vietnamese companies who wants to do more and more business with India within pharma sectors. I personally feel that the consulate itself is also organizing many medical seminars, the soft ways to interact with the local doctors, and we are also planning for training of doctors and nurses in India. And very recently, just 2 days back, we explored an idea to organize a business event in month of June with the Foreign Service Department of Department of External Relations to explore the idea of Indian investment in medical sector, like in the infrastructure, in creating the medical structures. And today I had come to Dak Nong. Here also the provincial government was talking about setting up hospitals and training of doctors. So on in this through this video also, through this interaction also, I like to assure my Vietnamese friends that we'll go up to the level where the Vietnamese side, they need training of doctors, nurses, paramedical staffs. Our companies will definitely explore for investment in setting of medical infrastructures. We'll be also happy to train doctors, nurses in India. And wherever it's in coming days, we'll definitely explore if the situation permits to plan for some kind of investment in the pharmaceutical sector. So finally, I must thanks VCCI who was regularly and in spite of their busyness with other countries, they've come forward to join us. And I must extend my gratitude to Mr. Hung and to Madam Khan also, who will be speaking today on the registration process. I hope this will be a fruitful seminar, and my office is open actually post business meeting. If any Indian drug manufacturers or the Vietnamese drug importers, they want anything in details from Indian side or from Vietnam sides, they can definitely approach us, and I promise that we'll return back to them with our reply in the least possible hours. So thank you all of you. Wish you this business seminar a big success. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi for your introductory remarks. And this would definitely help, in having better cooperation between India and Vietnam. And your support is always very good, sir, for pharma industry and pharma excel. With these few words, I would like to now welcome Ms. Pham Thi Van Ha, Deputy Head of Drug Registration, Drug Administration of Vietnam, to kindly give special address on drug registration and policy updates. Thank you.
Can you see me? Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, organizer. Good morning, everyone. And to you some of the circular number 29 compared to circular number 32 on drug registration in Vietnam. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, organizer. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hạnh. I'm the deputy head of the division, the drug registration division of DAV, Drug Administration of Vietnam. Today, I'm pleased to present to all of you some of the new features of the circular number 29 compared to the circular number 32 on drug registration in Vietnam. Yeah, now can I present in Vietnamese? Yeah. Yeah. Và đầu tiên thì những cái trước tiên thì thông tư 29 là sửa đổi bổ sung rất nhiều thông tư, và trong đó có thông tư 32 về đăng ký thuốc. Đề cập đến những vấn đề mà cũng đang rất nhiều comment và có những doanh nghiệp gặp rất nhiều khó khăn khi thực hiện triển khai thông tư 32. Đầu tiên là vấn đề các cái yêu cầu về CPP, Certificate of Pharmaceutical Product. Can you hear me? Translate.
Yes. Yeah. First of all, would like to tell you something about circular number 32, which is updated of circular number 29 with some changing in the CPP issuance.
Vấn đề đầu tiên của CPP đấy là các cái yêu cầu về việc mà phải lãnh sự quán các nước phải xác thực con dấu chữ ký và tên của cái người ký trên CPP. Thì thông tư 20 ở thông tư 32 thì thông tư 29 thì đã loại bỏ các cái yêu cầu này, và thông tư 29 thì chấp nhận tất cả những cái quy trình mà thông thường về hợp pháp hóa lãnh sự của các nước.
So before for the CPP, we need authorized from consulate from foreign country. But now with the new updating, we have eliminated this thing. So now we accept on the CPP without the authorized from the consulate and the embassy.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Về vấn đề CPP thì thông tư 29 có làm rõ hơn về vấn đề chấp nhận các cái CPP được ban hành dưới dạng điện tử, electronic format. Và trong các trường hợp mà các CPP được ban hành dưới dạng điện tử thì có hai cách mà được nhận.
Yes.
The second issue ở trong trường hợp và vấn đề thứ hai là trong trường hợp các CPP được ban hành dưới dạng điện tử, electronic format.
So the second issue is regarding to the electronic format of the CPP. Next slide, please.
Next slide. Okay, please, next slide.
Yeah, I can see it.
Đối với các cái CPP được phát hành dưới dạng điện tử thì được DAV chấp nhận theo hai cách. Thứ nhất là đối với các cái CPP ban hành dưới dạng điện tử mà không có đầy đủ chữ ký con dấu của cơ quan cấp mà được hợp pháp lãnh sự theo cái quy trình thông thường của nước sở tại thì cũng được DAV chấp nhận.
So for the new electronic formats of CPP, we have two methods. One is if do not be in full the signature and name of the signing person and the certificate seal of the competent authority is also accepted in this legal document. Yeah.
Và cách thứ hai là trong trường hợp mà các doanh nghiệp nộp một cái
just some noise. I will just turn off my microphone for some time.
nộp cái bản theo format ban hành dưới dạng điện tử mà có được các cái hợp pháp lãnh sự hoặc là và chỉ ra được các cái nguồn website chính thức của cơ quan ban hành mà Cục Quản lý Dược có thể tra cứu được thì cũng có thể chấp nhận.
And the second is if the electronic format is certificate by the which appear with full of signature, name of the signing person, and you have a reference with the website of that authorization, so it's also accepted.
Nội dung thứ ba là các cái yêu cầu về CPP mà đối với thuốc mới và các cái sinh phẩm. Đối với thuốc mới và sinh phẩm ở thông tư 32 thì yêu cầu 2 CPP và cái CPP thứ hai phải được ban hành bởi một cái cơ quan của một nước SCRA. Yes, please.
Next slide, please. So with regard to the new pharmaceutical drug and imported biologic, the CPP should be issued by at least two CPP. One issued by the manufacturing country, and the other should be issued by one of the regulatory authority.
SCRA,
SAR country.
Thì thông tư 29 có mở rộng thêm và chấp nhận cái CPP thứ hai có thể là một cái MA hoặc là một cái chứng nhận lưu hành được cấp bởi một cơ quan quản lý dược quốc gia hoặc cơ quan có thẩm quyền tại nước sở tại và có đầy đủ các cái thông tin theo yêu cầu sau đây. Please.
And the circular number 29, with regard to the first registration of new pharmaceutical drug, imported biologic. So we also accept the CPP issued by the competent authority of the manufacturing country, certifying that the respective drug is authorized.
Những thông tin đó tối thiểu là phải có tên của thuốc, tên các cái hoạt chất, API, các hàm lượng, nồng độ của từng hoạt chất, cái dạng bào chế, tên và địa chỉ của cơ sở sản xuất phải ghi trên cái chứng nhận này.
And the legal paper must cover as the minimum following information such as name of the drug, active ingredient, concentration of strength of active ingredient, dosage form, etc.
Yeah, please next slide.
Next slide, please.
Slide tiếp.
Yes, you are on the right. Yeah.
Cũng như là hóa dược mới và biologic thì vaccine cũng chấp nhận một cái CPP thứ hai. Trong các
So with regard to the application dossier for the extension, vaccines also accept the second CPP as mentioned above.
Đối với vaccine thì cái CPP thứ hai cũng được mở rộng ở thông tư 29. Có thể chấp nhận là nếu như nộp một cái CPP được issue bởi cơ quan EMA thì không là CPP thứ hai là một cái ở các nước tham chiếu quy định tại khoản 9 của thông tư 32 thì cũng có những thông tin tối thiểu như là đã kể ở
So for vaccines, also for registration of vaccines, if we only have one CPP, the second CPP also can be accepted if it is issued by the country as mentioned above.
Okay. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
Một nội dung rất là mới. Về vấn đề xác thực CPP. Vấn đề xác thực CPP là một cái nội dung mới được quy định tại thông tư 32 và giai đoạn đầu thì rất nhiều cơ quan tổ chức cũng như doanh nghiệp có phản ánh là rất là khó thực hiện. Tuy nhiên đến nay thì chúng tôi cũng đã nhận được phản hồi khoảng của 80% các nước có phản hồi cũng như là 6-70% đối với các cái sản phẩm CPP mà chúng tôi đã gửi đi để xác thực. Tuy nhiên thì vẫn còn một số nước không thể thực hiện cái việc xác thực này hoặc là cái việc trả lời xác thực nó chậm trễ. Chính vì vậy mà thông tư 29 có mở rộng ra và có quy định chi tiết hơn về cái quy trình xác thực. Yes, please.
So regarding to the clarification of CPP, so we understand that when we first implement this circular, many countries have said that it was so difficult to implement. But until now, about 80% of the country and 60 to 70% of the product have been clarified. And we have issued the circular number 29 for the detail as mentioned in the slide.
Thế thì chắc phải nói lại cái này quan trọng.
Cái đó. Thì đối với thông tư 29 thì có quy định rất là chi tiết về cái quy trình xác thực. DAV vẫn gửi các cái bản copy của CPP đến các cơ quan có thẩm quyền của nước cấp ra CPP để hỏi. Tuy nhiên thì không yêu cầu phải có kết quả trả lời trước khi cấp ra các cái số đăng ký, các cái visa. Và trong quá trình sau khi cấp visa chúng tôi vẫn có các cái rà soát lại, có những cái review, nếu như có những thông tin mà không chính xác thì chúng tôi sẽ xử lý theo quy trình hậu kiểm.
Yeah. So the new in circular number 29 is it not mandatory to get the verification result of legal paper authenticity stipulated in cloud mentions and available before the time of certificate issuance, and except when such legal paper are issued in electronic format, and it's also required the ability of verification result before the approval. If it's not meeting, then we will contact the country after issue that to clarify.
Trong giai đoạn vừa qua thì chúng tôi cũng nhận được rất nhiều cái thông tin phản hồi và hỗ trợ của phía Đại sứ quán Ấn Độ, và hầu hết các cái CPP chúng tôi gửi đi thì trong vòng khoảng 1 tháng cũng đã có cái phản hồi, và điều này rất là cảm ơn Đại sứ quán Ấn Độ đã hỗ trợ các doanh nghiệp của Ấn Độ cũng như là DAV.
Yeah. So recently we have also contact in contact with Embassy of India in Hanoi, Vietnam, and normally the result will be respond within 1 month, and it support a lot for the Indian business and also the DAV. So this is very cheerful for us.
Next slide, please.
Hai mà các cái doanh nghiệp rất là chờ đợi, đấy là việc duy trì 12 tháng đối thông tư 32 thì chỉ hạn
So the next thing that many business also concerns is about the intention of certificate of marketing authorizations. So in the circular number 32, which is the expired between 1st January 2018 and 30 June 2020 should be allowed to have the certificate validity maintained for another 12 months. But now for in circular number 29, the certificate expiring over the period from 1st January 2018 to 31st December 2021 will be already allowed to be prolonged. So be allowed to have the validity prolonged for a further 12 months.
Và một cái điểm mới ở đây nữa là tất cả các cái thủ tục để làm cái việc đề nghị duy trì 12 tháng cho các cái số đăng ký hết hạn là chúng tôi hoàn toàn thực hiện trên hệ thống trực tuyến, và doanh nghiệp cập nhật trên hệ thống trực tuyến, và Cục Quản lý Dược cũng sẽ trả lời văn bản kết quả trên hệ thống trực tuyến. Và trên cơ sở dữ liệu của Cục Quản lý Dược thì Hải quan cũng như các cơ quan chức năng có thể nhìn thấy cái kết quả trả lời gia hạn của các cái số đăng ký này.
And the new thing is that on the extension of certificate is we are doing in electronic format. So it's meaning that the business will apply online and we will also respond online. And with the same platform on the custom and on the custom also they can get the information about the number of the drug is have been extended.
Yeah, next slide, please. Oh, please step back to the sixth slide. I want to step back to the sixth slide. Step back. Không có à? Không có cái này à?
Có chứ, bản này là bản mới nhất mà.
Về cái nguyên liệu ấy. The raw material ấy. Yeah. Next slide. Please, next slide. Yeah.
Đây, raw material.
Đề cập đến vấn đề nguyên liệu cũng như là các cái CPP mà thông tư 32 yêu cầu phải có trên CPP cái nội dung về nhà sản xuất nguyên liệu, rồi tiêu chuẩn của nguyên liệu và tiêu chuẩn của thành phẩm. Thì thông tư 32 yêu cầu là đến 30 tháng 6 năm 2020 thì tất cả các CPP phải có cái nội dung này. Tuy nhiên thông tư 29 thì có giãn lộ trình, có delay lại cái thời gian thực hiện và áp dụng cho tất cả những cái hồ sơ mà nộp trước 31 tháng 12 năm 2021 thì không yêu cầu phải trên CPP phải có những cái nội dung về tiêu chuẩn thành phẩm, tiêu chuẩn nguyên liệu, tên nhà sản xuất của nhà sản xuất tá dược. Cả thành phẩm nữa đúng không? Cả tên và địa chỉ của nhà sản xuất API.
So in the circular number 32, it said that any drug raw material which is expired before 30 June 2020, they should have in the CPP. They should have the material standard and the standard of manufacturer and also standard of the final product. But now we extend that to any product before 31st of December 2021 doesn't need that. We extension the expiry time.
Thank you, and go to the next slide. Yeah, okay. Về vấn đề về các cái thay đổi bổ sung mà chỉ cần thông báo thì thông tư 32 vẫn yêu cầu có một cái trả lời kết quả của DAV thì mới được phép thực hiện. Tuy nhiên thông tư 29 thì có cụ thể hóa cái quy trình đối với các cái thủ tục mà notify. Các thủ tục notify này của Việt Nam thì cũng thực hiện đầy đủ theo các guideline của ASEAN. Và trong cái phụ lục 2 của thông tư 32 thì có 11 cái thủ tục notify và tách ra làm 2 quy trình riêng biệt. Có một số các cái notify thì được thực hiện ngay khi hồ sơ mà được xác nhận là đã nộp đầy đủ. Và trong vòng 15 ngày thì Cục Quản lý Dược sẽ cập nhật lên hệ thống website của Cục Quản lý Dược. Và một loại thứ hai là cũng trong vòng 15 ngày Cục Quản lý Dược cũng công bố ở trên hệ thống trực tuyến của Cục Quản lý Dược. Tuy nhiên là công bố để chờ kết quả approval của Cục Quản lý Dược.
So in the regarding to the minor variation of notification, so now we also have 11 steps. That's following the Asian standard, and we have two methods. The first one, when we from the day that you submit with a full detail within 15 working day. Within 15 working days from the day written on the receipt note, the DAV should update the minor variation onto its website. And the second thing, also within 15 working days, we will notify, but we also wait for the approval, the final approval.
Cụ thể các cái MIV notify thì chúng tôi liệt kê ở trong các cái slide tiếp theo. Xin mời là bật các cái slide tiếp theo. Thì trong 11 các cái variation của phụ lục thông tư 32 thì có 6 cái variation sẽ được công bố và thực hiện ngay khi mà hồ sơ được chấp nhận. Và còn lại 5 cái variation thì vẫn phải chờ kết quả chấp nhận của Cục Quản lý Dược. Thì chúng tôi có liệt kê ở trang sau. Và cũng xin thông báo là trong thời gian tới, tất cả những cái thay đổi bổ sung và đặc biệt là các cái variation notify thì Cục Quản lý Dược sẽ thực hiện trên hệ thống trực tuyến. Và khi mà được đối với 6 cái minor variation notify mà được Cục Quản lý Dược công bố là đã nộp hồ sơ hợp lệ thì các doanh nghiệp cũng được thực hiện, cũng như hải quan và các cơ quan chức năng khác có thể nhìn thấy cái thông tin mới so với thông tin cũ để chấp nhận cho doanh nghiệp thực hiện các cái thông tin mới.
Yeah, so the detail we are giving in the next slide, which is within six in the will be within 15 working days from the day written on the receipt note. We will update. And the new thing is that now on the variation, we will do it in the electronic format. So based on that, when everyone, the custom also, when they see it in the electronic format, they will see the updating of the variation. So next slide, please. We will see the details. Yeah, thank you. This slide. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the attention. Thank you for thank you, translator. Now I'm here. So, is there any question?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for on, and we are the DAV have finished the speak, and well, for the Q&A, we will do it in the next 20 minutes after 2 more speakers. Mr. Murali, please continue.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pham Thi Van Ha, Deputy Head of Drug Administration, Vietnam, for your detailed presentation, and Mr. Tan for translating the same. I would now move on to the next presentation and address by Mr. Manoj Bharat, Chairman INCHAM, to kindly give his address on pharmaceutical business opportunities in Vietnam. Mr. Manoj, may I invite you to kindly give your address. Thank you.
Hi all. First of all, I would like to extend my greetings on behalf of INCHAM, and xin chào to everyone the people in Vietnam. And it's in fact a great honor for me to represent INCHAM and Vietnam for this India-ASEAN Pharma Meet. And the biggest thank goes to PharmaXil for taking this initiative and setting up this platform for us to share our concern, to understand like what Ministry of Health has to say. And I think this will give us clarity on like the terms and conditions for doing business in this region, along with some crystal clarity on like the regulatory compliance. So this will like give us an idea to the extent of opportunities that are available for us, and like to what extent we need to be prepared to make use of those opportunities, or if there are any gaps, then how to fill those gaps so that we have a smooth sailing in these markets, which is where we find the biggest challenge. Anyway, I would also like to thank the Indian Consulate for helping us to set up this platform, and our CG, Mr. Madan Mohan Sethi, who has been very active in terms of promoting business between the two countries and increasing the trade between India and Vietnam. And I would also like to thank VCCI for bringing the local Vietnamese companies to attend this program and giving us an audience. And a special thanks to Ms. Wan Han, she has given such a beautiful presentation on the challenges that we have been facing. And with this Circular 29, many of the obstacles that we have been facing or the delays that were happening appears to be, getting solved. So anyway, before I start with my presentation, I would like to give a brief introduction of myself. That I've been living in Vietnam for more than 20 years now. And in this 20 years time, I have worked for companies like Dr. Reddy's, Torrent for a pretty long time. And then for the last 7-8 years, I've been doing my own business, helping multiple Indian companies to open up their market in Vietnam or helping them to sell their products in Vietnam. So now I would like to put my presentation for sharing. Okay. So this is like, so we would also like to thank, like the companies who support INCHAM in Vietnam, especially our big sponsors, Tandoor and the RV Life Group. And if we see the overall market of Vietnam, it has like in my tenure itself, I have seen such a big change. Like it was somewhere in 400 million in 2001. And now like in 2020, it's supposed to touch 8 billion, which is almost 20 times in 2 decades. And this has made Vietnam the second largest medicine market in Southeast Asia after Indonesia. And as per the few reports, like Vietnam haircare market is overall 17.4 billion in 2018, in which the pharmaceuticals alone contributed to almost 1/3, which is around 6 billion with a growth of almost 12%. And year on, if we see in the last few years, in 2018, from 5.9 billion, it went to 6.5 billion in 2019. 8 billion in 2020, though I'm not very sure about these figures given the impact of COVID. And it is projected by some Ken research company that by 2020, Vietnam will hit more than 10 billion. So this is the extent of, the market. And the reason, the factors behind this market is going to be the per capita spending, which is like 170, which has grown from $170 to almost $400. It will be going up to $400 in 27. But if we see the per capita spending on drugs alone, so which is like getting more than double in just 5-7 years. So it was like $22.25 in 2010, which is going to $56 in 2017. So on an average, this growth is 15% year on year. And it's projected that it will continue to remain so until 2025. So, and the other factor behind this growth is the aging population in Vietnam. Like China, we see that the trend is catching up, where the aging population is increasing. And they have entered the aging phase in 2017, which has continued to grow. And say by 2040, it will be like full-fledged aging population, bringing a very big challenge in terms of healthcare spending. So like when, in light of this increasing healthcare expenses, government have to do something to control expenditure and also take care of inflammation. So towards that, the most important factor is reducing the cost and improving efficiency in healthcare facilities. So towards that, they have to focus on the use of domestic drug instead of imported ones. And this is regulated through the government tender policy, which ensures that the more number of domestic product is used. And towards this, the companies like big corporates in pharma sectors in Vietnam, DHE Pharma, Chapaco, Farco, Hatai, Mikofar, Demesco, and like MNCs also have set up their facilities so that they can produce the cost-effective, locally made products to take care of the healthcare requirements. But in spite of all this encouragement and policies from Vietnam, domestic pharmaceutical industry is only able to contribute just half of the country's demand. Import still need to cover the remaining half. While the domestic product has grown, but the demand of drug has also simultaneously grown up. So there is like almost 50% market which is yet to be taken care through imports. That is where the opportunity for Indian drug makers emerges, as we are the leading global producers of cost-effective generic medicines, which can fill in this gap at a very affordable prices. So this is the overview of the imports of pharmaceuticals to Vietnam. Of the 6.5 billion in 2019, it's 3.3 billion is coming through imports of pharmaceutical products. And pharma imports are, though, very less compared to the overall imports to Vietnam. It's just making 1.3% of total import flow of out of 253 billion. It's just 1.3% is coming in pharmaceutical form. But one thing we can see is that it's steadily growing over the years and maintaining a growth rate of between 10 to 15% year on year. These are the major companies who are sending products to Vietnam. France takes the #1 position with very high value of products, including Germany, the #2. Then India takes the 3rd position, though it is only 7.8% imports, but in terms of that's in terms of the value. But if we go by the volume, with this just 7.8% money we get, we give the pharma worth of 20% of the total import. So we are very cost effective in terms of sending goods to Vietnam. And other than this finished products, 60% of pharmaceutical end products and 90% of API and other raw materials is actually imported in Vietnam. So like whatever we are sending from India, a major chunk is going as raw material and APIs only. And the Vietnam government is always focusing on reducing reliance on imports. And they have like for target for 22 was supposed to be to have 80% drugs from local drug manufacturers. And towards that, they use the tendering process like where they can control the flow of drugs into the hospitals. And that's why of the total imports to Vietnam, 4.9 billion is imported for hospitals only. Rest goes to the trade. Vietnam is also, like made inroads into the exports. Sorry. Yeah. So they have done an export of 185 million in the year 2019, and the growth was almost 17%, and which was like up by 26 million in the previous year. So it's an impressive growth on year-to-year basis, and like the major importers are Japan, where they send almost 44 million worth of goods, which is on 23%. Then the neighboring countries like Cambodia, Philippines, Myanmar, Malaysia, and also developed markets like Cyprus, USA, Germany, and Bulgaria. So, but in spite of, like so much focus on the local manufacturing, the regulatory element of Vietnam is still holding back to utilize the total international export potential, including in some part of Southeast Asia also. There is not so big reach of Vietnamese companies. Countries in Europe and Northern America also require the facilities to be accredited by either UGMP or the PICS GMP. And in Vietnam, like only 17 facilities have so far been able to get those EU GMP or PICS standards. out of the total 222 facilities where they just go by simple WHO GMP standards. And that is where, the Vietnam export potential gets limited. And that is where they need help. So it is here that the investment opportunities for foreign companies, including Indian companies, emerges to partner with domestic companies, utilize their low production cost, and help them with advanced production technology to enable exports to developed markets. So there have been few mergers, few steps that were taken by few companies around the globe. Like Germany's Stada, they invested 72% of indirect shareholding into Vietnam's VMICE, which is like one of the 17 EU GMP accredited facilities. And then other one is like DHE Pharma. They collaborated with Taiso Pharma of Japan, Micofar with the Nipro Pharma of Japan, and Domesco with Abbott. So this is like they found a way to collaborate and open up the markets for exports. And the other very important dimension towards this is the Vietnam's strategic partnership with the different countries. So Vietnam has an amazing tie-ups. They are welcomed by so many countries in the developed market to import their products, to make it easy for them to sell products to these markets. So if we see overall in terms of investment opportunities, Vietnam has a growing and aging population, consistently growing market with a year-on-year growth rate of 14 to 15%. They have a very good focus on improving local manufacturing capabilities. Towards that, they provide a lot of incentives for local production and also give the preference in local tenders, hospital tenders, to sell your products. Generally, if we see in terms of political stability, we have a very stable government with excellent law and order situation. And in terms of like local production, if we see the proximity with China for API and raw material sourcing makes it convenient destination for manufacturing your products, even for the developing markets. And they have this, as I shown earlier, numerous free trade agreements to make Vietnam partner of choice for export to any major economy in the world. Overall, if we see the way Vietnam has handled this COVID situation, which is exemplary, and they have shown an exemplary resilience of government in handling the crisis. And if we look towards the partnership, the way India has done in terms of providing medicine to the world in spite of COVID crisis, there were 150 countries which got benefited, including the developed countries, where India came forward and helped them with not only the medicine, but also the vaccines to take care of the crisis. So we are the partners, like in terms of country, we know how to handle the crisis and how to come up in difficult times. So now, as just now Ms. Vanhan has already explained, there are so many issues that were, like bothering the trade between two countries. It was making us difficult to get the product registered. And we have been waiting for long to even solve a very simple problem, because like the issue of, the COPP being issued by national authorities, though, we know in India, the COPPs are issued by only state agencies. And CDSO had no role in, like issuing the COPP. They just control the process, but they have no role in stamping it. So this issue we are trying to solve partially, like we got few inputs, but still we have to make it through. This is kind of, limiting the registration of products. And as like this circular 29, it takes care of most of the issues that is mentioned here, like the requirement of GMP CPP for the excipients, which has been now exempted, and we can use the Form 13 TT to declare like from where these products are imported, where these excipients are used from. And extensive 1-year visa, it was becoming a problem. It was on hold for almost a year now, but it has been released, so we can get the extension of our products which are already expired. So we are allowed to get the extension now. We have to see how soon it is rolled out. A part has been done, but a lot is yet to be done. And then the COPP requirement, which was like over and above the WHO requirement of putting the RM specification, name, address, safety supply. This was all very cumbersome, but fortunately it has been called off in this by Circular 29. And they have also, like given us a relief in terms of, getting this EU GMPs and all to be, like used as per the international guidelines of allowing them to be considered as valid until 31st December 21. We don't have to wait for their renewal or getting the new certificate. whichever was expired during the COVID period. So now, but we still, the biggest challenge in terms of if we see the exports of India to Vietnam, it stands somewhere around like 250, 260 million, and it has been consistent for last, I think, 4-5 years. Though the market is growing considerably, but Indian exports to Vietnam are stuck around 250, 260 million. And the main reason behind that is that many new and even renewal dossiers are still pending, and there are many dossiers which are pending since 2015. And most of them are stuck due to change in regulatory document requirement, as like the major culprit was this Circular 32, which has been now released by Circular 29. So we hope that things will move faster now. And even those supplementary documents, like there were many dossiers for which we got the queries were answered in 2019, but still we are yet to hear the release of any visa on those dossiers. So these kind of delays are encouraging for new companies, especially like somebody coming new to Vietnam and they have to wait 5-6 years to get the registration. It will definitely discourage them. And even for the people who are already selling products in Vietnam, if renewal is like, interrupting your supplies to the market, the entire effort to build that product goes into vain. So we need to have some consistency for the people who have already invested something in Vietnam to encourage them to come forward and go to the next level of investing into Vietnam. So we request, the MOH to please ensure consistency of our existing businesses so that, the stakes which we have already put in are duly regarded, and then we can go to the next level of investment. And for the new regulations also, we would like to request, to give some buffer period, before the regulation comes, give us some time to get in line with regulation. And it should be applicable to the new things, not to one which is already happening. We should get some time to comply with the new regulations. And then, as I think Mr. Bhaskar has also said, and we have realized over a period of time, we need to have a central authority in India for, vetting the documents, to making sure that whatever coming out of India is not challenged. Otherwise, most of the time, we spend in proving that the documents that we have in hand is an authenticated document, and it can be accepted by MOH immediately. So this authentication is a very cumbersome process. So we need to have a central agency or nodal agency or whatever we call it to verify this document and shorten the times of, shorten the time that is spent in getting them legalized or verified or vetted. So I think that's going to be a very, very important thing. And then to sum up, very important is to ensure the faster dossier evaluation process, and it should have a timeline. It cannot be like unlimited time. So as I mentioned earlier, there are dossiers which are lying in MO since 2015, and there we keep on getting some queries in between, but still the registration, the final visa is still awaited. So with this, I think I have covered like most of the things which can encourage or invite the investors from India or the traders from India to come and help this market for their medicine requirements, and at the same time ensure that this market is duly developed and not misused. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manoj Bharatwal, Chairman of INCHAM, for the detailed presentation and providing insight on India-Vietnam pharmaceutical market and then the way forward. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Nguyen Thi Hang, Deputy Director General of Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to kindly address on pharmaceutical industry and investment opportunities in Vietnam. Sir, may I invite you to kindly give your address? Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. His Excellency Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, Consul General of India in Ho Chi Minh City, Mr. Ravi Udaya Basa, Director General of Pharmaceutical, Ms. Phạm Thị Vân Hạnh, Deputy Head of Drug Registration, Drug Administration of Vietnam, Mr. Manuel Bathong, Chairman of INCHARM. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, on behalf of VCCI Ho Chi Minh City, I would like to extend our warm welcome to all distinguished guests and participants to the webinar and B2B India-Vietnam Pharma Meet today. As you all have known, thus during the past year, the traditional and friendly Vietnam-India relationship has always been strengthened in all fields by the two countries. In particular, the post-COVID-19 period is a golden period for Vietnam and India to promote trade and investment cooperation, connect the supply chain of raw material and manufacturing in fields such as electronic, textile, garments, footwear, pharmaceuticals, etc. Regarding the trade relations, India now is among the top 10 trading partners of Vietnam. And on the other side, Vietnam is considered as important country in the East policy of India. This reflected in the multi-dimensional cooperation between the two countries in recent years. The two-way trade turnover between Vietnam and India in 2020 reached over 9.6 billion US dollar, down 14.3% compared to the 2019, in which Vietnam export to India was over 5.2 billion, down 21.2%, and import 4.4 billion US dollar from India, increase up 4.4% compared to 2019. Particularly in the pharmaceutical sector, India currently ranked third among the suppliers of pharmaceuticals to Vietnam. In 2020, the import value of the pharmaceutical from India reached nearly 255 million US dollar, only after France, 506 million US dollar, and Germany, more than 400 million US dollar. The two countries set out the target of the two-way trade turnover of 15 billion US dollar by 2020. But due to the COVID-19 epidemic, the target is yet to be achieved. To realize this goal, Vietnam and India need to further strengthen cooperation in the fields where the two countries have strength, competitive advantages, and mutual support, such as mining, chemicals, textiles, garment, leather, footwear, energy, medical, pharmaceutical, supporting industries, machinery, auto spare part, agricultural machinery, and IT. Regarding the investment relation, as of the 2020, India ranked 26 out of 138 countries and territory investing in Vietnam, with 288 projects, total registered capital of over 890 million US dollar, focusing on mainly oil and gas exploitation, mineral processing, IT, agricultural products, etc. With the COVID-19 epidemic under control, Vietnam is being proved as a safe and reliable destination for foreign investors. Ladies and gentlemen, as an active member in ASEAN, Vietnam not only makes maximum efforts to strengthen intra-regional economic cooperation, but also develop strategic relations with partners outside the region, including India. For Vietnam, some areas will focus on cooperation with India in the year to come, including energy, electronics, information, technology, and pharmaceuticals. India ranks third globally in volume of pharmaceutical products and 14th in terms of value. The leading pharmaceutical company of India all meet international standard from the US, EU, Australia, etc. Vietnam wishes to seek opportunity to cooperate with India in the field of pharmaceuticals, especially manufacturing vaccine against COVID-19. The scale of Vietnam pharmaceutical market is currently meeting the need of 100 million population, with the value of drug consumption per capita of about $64 per year. The total value of drug consumption by 2020 was over $6 billion, in which the value of domestic production is about 3 billion, and the value of imported drug is over $3 billion. The pharmaceutical production and trading system has been rapidly expanded with about 250 manufacturing factories, 200 import-export companies, 4,300 wholesalers, and more than 62,000 retail stores nationwide. However, the development of Vietnam pharmaceutical industry in recent years has yet to meet expectations, not commensurate with Vietnam's potential. Currently, about 300 Indian pharmaceutical companies have opened rep office in Vietnam, including many large pharmaceutical companies such as Sun Pharma, Natco, Milan, etc. Recently, Vietnam has revised its regulation so that Indian businesses are free to participate in bidding packages to supply drugs and pharmaceuticals to public health facilities with businesses meeting quality requirements. The criteria for selection of a tenderer are entirely based on technology and quality, regardless of geographic scope. To promote foreign investment in the pharmaceutical industry, the government of Vietnam has incentives for investment in drug and vaccine production, encourage scientific research on biotechnology, production of new drugs, etc. The Ministry of Health is currently submitting to the government for approval of the pharmaceutical industry development project to 2030 and with the vision to 2045, with specific content related to investment policy in the pharmaceutical sector. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to provide updated information of the market, business environment, business opportunity for Indian and Vietnamese businesses. Today, with the support of the CGI in Ho Chi Minh City, the VCCI Ho Chi Minh City in cooperation with the pharmacy organize this webinar and B2B India-Vietnam Pharma Meet. I do believe that this event will bring many opportunities for businesses from both sides for the further cooperation in this sector. And last not least, I do wish all participants a very good health and the webinar and the B2B a very success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nguyen Thi Han. Deputy Director General of Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for your address. Now we have Q&A, and I have requested members having any questions to post in Q&A. So this can be done for 5 to 10 minutes. If we have questions, then we will take up. Otherwise, we will move on to the next session. So members have any questions, can kindly post in Q&A. Okay. So we assume there are no questions from member companies, and then we'll move on to the next part of this program. Which is concluding remarks by myself. So while I would like to thank each and everyone participated in this program, right, from the support from VCCI, support from INCHAM, and they're taking their time and be with us. His Excellency Madan Mohanji from Drug Control General, the head of drug registration, Ms. Pham Thi Van. Thank you so much for taking time and giving us providing us your valuable inputs and changes on various aspects. While I would like to say, quickly touch upon the presenters and their offerings today. While the Director General PharmExcel has made has provided information on vaccines and how it has met the global needs in its indigenization, as well the invitation to the DAV Drug Authority of Vietnam to come to India and have interact with us under International Knowledge Exchange Program. The CGI speaking on the cost effectiveness as well as the vaccines growth and the B2B meetings and the continued support what they have given to the PharmExcel and various industry associations in conducting the in promoting the pharma industry, trade and pharma industry. And then he also touched upon the infrastructure being provided to the Vietnamese side in terms of upgrading the hospitals as well as training to the doctors and paramedical staff. So that is quite interesting, sir. And this would help promote the trade between both the countries as well as facilitate the services. And then Ms. Pham Chi Van, dealt upon the Circular 29 versus Circular 32, the changes that they have come up with, which is mostly welcome, ma'am. And we will continue to see how best we can to take this forward to see that the issues between India and Vietnam by setting up of the cell or the nodal officers as suggested by our Director General PharmExcel. So and then Manoj Bharatwal coming his presentation, he has touched upon the in Vietnam pharmaceutical market and how it has grown, and then what is it now, like how we can cooperate with Vietnam in terms of pharmaceuticals or in terms of APIs and formulations. And he also touched upon various issues that we have, and then is made several recommendations which can also be kindly looked into. And coming to oath and the Deputy Director General Nguyen Thi Hang, he has briefed us on the opportunities present in Vietnam for Indian pharmaceuticals, as well on how the industry is doing as far as the exports from Vietnam is concerned. And we look forward to working with you with VCCI and in the coming days. With this, I would like to once again thank each and everyone present here. Giving your valuable inputs and resources today. And we are having the next session at which would start at 12:30 to until 5:30 Vietnamese time, and as well 11:30 until 6 p.m. for India time. So we look forward to have the BTB meetings with India and Vietnam side. I would request all the delegates from India and Vietnam to kindly join the platform and schedule your meetings. If you have already scheduled, then you please go ahead as per the schedules. Looking forward to successful meetings today. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.